The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, everybody, to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour, where I'm going to throw you a little curve today. There's no bull side. There's no bear side. There's just the right side of the market. And that's what we need to be looking at in the next few days. As always, we like to come to you about here at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Yes, it does. Almost every single day. Pretty much every day that matters. But what do we have going on today? The beige book just came out. We got a little bit of movement off of it, but not anything. Off at 2 points on the S&P. Cash 2149 and change. Volume is 2.2 billion shares, so a little lighter than yesterday. As I said yesterday, you know, why there is a slim chance of a higher expiration from the high of that 2157 yesterday on the cash. It's about 10%. And there's a much more likely that we close lower, but not significantly lower. I'm not thinking below 2100. But we do have earnings coming in, and that continues to be kind of an issue in trying to see exactly what's happening out here. I would be having some kind of downside protection if you're long. Medium term and long term, I think long is right. Short term, I think long is wrong. And I certainly dislike it when, especially the VIX is extremely low values, because that tends to make everybody think that, or at least it tells you market participants think that there is no reason for the market to go lower. And that's generally when it goes lower and on a surprise. Anyway, I have a very small amount of money at risk. It will become a lot bigger than the small amount, and by a 1, 2, 3, 4x if we do get down to probably about 2120 on the S&P. So I don't need a whole lot of movement because, of course, no one thinks that the market can go down at all. But that is the kind of thinking that I call stinking thinking. The market can always go up, market can always go down, and at the same time, it can go nowhere. But we'll move on.
There it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, as always. Oh, we need to turn that up. Oh, I thought that sounded awful weak today. What else do we have going on here? Oh, well, we got history. On this day in 1787, U.S. Congress creates the Northwest Territory and authorizing the distribution of land to the eastern settlers who have made their way over the Allegheny Mountains into Ohio. I always wondered why it was called the Midwest when it was then the Northwest Territory. It was the Midwest. And then, anyway, that whole thing, Midwest. It's kind of the middle, isn't it? It wouldn't be. It could be just as well the Mideast, except that one was already taken. Anyway, with its rich farmland, coal deposits, and excellent waterways, Ohio soon becomes one of the most and largest economic powers of the Union, with access to big rivers, lots of close coal and iron to make steel with. It becomes one of the natural conduits all the way to the Mississippi and to markets abroad. On this day in 1787, we were still thinking about expansion. Just a thought. Very interesting thing happened to me at lunch today. No, not that. There had a gentleman that normally when I walk in, to the places I eat. I'll go in there and sit down at the bar because I don't have a lot of time, and ask if they can flip one of the channels at least to of the obligatory 8 to 10 TVs in the bar to CNBC and news instead of somebody talking about what happened in sports the day before for the 10th time in the last hour, because they don't seem to get very much range. It's whatever happened yesterday, and a lot of, do you think the humidity helped Team A more than it helped Team B last night? Did the ball, did the ball go farther because of the humidity or shorter? Anyway, sports talk to me is, it's kind of like watching those daily soap operas. Ugh. Yeah, that would be my true, talk about waterboarding, watching daily soap operas. That would be true torture to me. But a gentleman saw my small interest. I didn't make any kind of big deal out of it. But he was sitting around the corner, and he was being very proud to tell me that he had bought Tesla. And a little bell goes off, because every time I hear people talking in bars about stocks, it means a big warning signal. Originally, this warning signal was a apocryphal tale that was attached to Joe Kennedy, although there are many other people, I think, that popularized this, and it may not have to do with him at all. Baruch was one of those folks. But Joe Kennedy, who, of course, a famous rich guy in his day, exited the stock market in timely fashion after a shoeshine boy gave him some stock tips in 1929. He figured that when the shoeshine boys have tips, the market is too popular for its own good. Taxi drivers told you what to buy. Shoeshine boys would give you a summary of the day's financial news as he worked with a rag and polish. An old beggar who regularly patrolled the street in front of my office now gave me tips. I suppose I spent the money, and others that I gave to them spent it in the market. My cook had a brokerage account, followed the ticker closely. Her paper profits were quickly blown away by the gale of 1929. I probably would have called it a thunderstorm, not a gale, and would have started talking about all the different levels of storm, and would have thought that it would be kind of on the higher side. A gale, pretty lightweight. But to me, this is the first sign when we get people doing that. I talked to him for a while. I asked him at what point would he sell, and he said he couldn't contemplate one. And I figure he's one of the guys that bought it, probably in a winning position. He said something, but I don't know. I didn't tell him what I did. Or what I wanted. I just asked him if he had any other stock tips. I figured if he picked them, I was probably going to avoid him. But an interesting lunch. And the last times I've heard people talk about stocks in the market, in a bar, it was a time to run. I can't tell you that I see that in the charts, but I can tell you from experience, my spidey sense is up. And why I think I can be long for a while, and hopefully short-term, a little nervous. We'll be back after this brief commercial timeout.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And what do we have after the bell tonight? We've got at least a few of the first earnings coming out after the bell. We've got CSX. This had looked fairly good at the bottom, or better. Now, not all that great. But far too many shorts in this. The energy from the June 20th high to the June 27th low and then back up to this high today, that actually filled a gap on lighter volume. Still looks rather troublesome. I would say at best the charts are saying this is still in a trading range. The volume today, 8.8 million shares so far going in to that, which is actually some fairly decent volume. Very hard to figure out why a lot of people are kind of late to the party on CSX today into earnings, but I don't know. It just seems that. A few things that made it look like maybe this was going to get better. My guess is that the crude prices are a much better determiner of how this stock will trade in the near future. I think people are just kind of getting ahead of themselves on that. S&P is basically flat on the day. We're off 1 point. Volume 2.3 billion shares as we start the second B block of the power trading hour. Other stocks of interest after the bell was that, where's that at? Yum Brands showed a little bit of spunk in the last round of earnings. You know, we're back up here just perfectly to where you would, if there weren't earnings coming, I would be all over this on the short side. What is this? August 11th last year, 9.7 million shares into it with about 4.8 million shares so far. So you've got a pretty long and big trading range back out here in this company. The question is just how well this is going to move along in the next couple of days. What do we have tomorrow? In the morning, it is JP Morgan. It's right back at the top of one of its big gap downs. That goes from the 24th of June that had 44.1 million shares on the downside, filling it today with about 16.6 million shares as we speak. So let's figure 20 million shares. It's going to be about half of the volume on the downside. Doesn't look all that wonderful. You've got a lot of overhead resistance going back to the May 25th high. Doesn't mean that the earnings won't be at least okay. Travel Zoo is tomorrow morning. This thing, it's got some kind of thing going on with it, but man, I don't see anything in it. What else do we have? JP Morgan, Delta Airlines. Normally things get to looking a little bit better with crude prices a little lower. A lot of people were shorting this. It was very heavily shorted over the last 3 days. And again, it seems like the best thing you can do for a stock right now is start shorting the dickens out of it, because why there won't be a lot of buyers. There will be a lot of people eventually covering as long as no one sells. And that's pretty much what it's about. But gapped up on some juice this morning and some decent volume. Still nothing compared to it. It did fill its gap again with a light volume, and that was the gap down on the 24th also of June. Could you get back up to 42.50? You could. I'm just not exactly understanding the reason why these things are going to start acting any better than they have before. We got BlackRock tomorrow morning. We talked about Delta, JP Morgan, Omnicom Group, Progressive Corporation, Travel Zoo, WNS Hold'ems. None of those things are real big for tomorrow. And after the bell, nothing really going on. When we get to Friday in the morning, we've got the financials starting to come out. We'll see a much better read on what's going on in that. Citi Group is that. Another one coming back into its gap. This one, the gap down was on the 24th of June. 72 million shares into it today with 23 million shares. So it kind of tells you the downside upside here would be, even if they have decent earnings, going to be a tough sledding road. Or what else do they say? A tough road to hoe, if anybody understands that one. Back in the olden days before John Deere hoed everything. Let's see what else out here. And then, of course, we get into next week, where Monday morning we come in for Bank of America, which is going to be interesting. Cal-Maine Foods, J.B. Hunt's, Lennox International. All these are pretty much all set up the same. You had the big gap down days for the Brett exit on the 24th. This one was 230 million shares. Today up on 90 million shares so far. If you just went by the charts, if you didn't say anything, didn't know anything about the British exit, you would think a great deal differently. IBM, after the bell on Monday, this one's looking very interesting. It's right back up to these highs in the and higher than that. Volume is kind of iffy. It's not bad, but iffy. But I would not be surprised to see this thing get up into the 160 area for earnings on Monday after the bell. That still looks like it has a little juice out here. Also, after the bell on Monday is Netflix. Some fairly decent news from some polling organizations about who is turning off their subscription to Netflix with higher prices, who keeps it no matter what. Netflix has done a fairly decent job of getting out just enough new content and having other things to watch, like old TV series, to keep its customers. I have to say that, I say, well, It's almost like HBO. Well, you know, there's a good movie coming on HBO at the beginning of the month, so maybe I'll just keep it. In fact, I know from some articles, they spend a lot of time with machine learning to try to figure out what the optimum amount of new content is to just keep people on the hook, but not give them any more than not keeping them subscribing. They watch a lot of trends. There's a lot of white papers and documents where some of the data has made its way to the academic profession. And what you see is, and you don't think about it, but Netflix may be one of the first true good machine learning companies in the fact that they are looking at your data. Amazon's probably another good one, right? They know if you bought product X, that you're highly likely to buy product Y, and they send you emails and make sure it pops up on your screen the first thing. Netflix, kind of the same thing. Anyway, this thing is going sideways. I don't have a good read on it. This one didn't have the same kind of really horrible downside volume, and kind of tough to tell. We're going to look through a few of these other ones that are going to go into earnings next week, and along with some of the other ones I'm looking at. We'll be back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Other stocks of interest reporting next Monday after the bell is VMware. We'll take a look at that. You know, what else can you say about these stocks that I'm not saying out here that with this pattern that is over and over again for these earning stocks, and that is high volume down on the 24th of June, only to see them come back up into this lighter volume. This one may not be as bad. Again, the problem with this one is the threat of EMC selling some of its or all of its shares and diluting the available float for that miserable and stupid and ill-timed Dell buy of EMC. It still is kind of like a bad rash. Every time you think it's done, it comes right back. A couple of stupid ideas out there floating around in deal-dumb. Yeah, I'll call it 3.2 million shares down. We got 2.2 million shares. So this one may be one of the ones that actually has some volume. That would basically say you could get up to 65.31 on some decent earnings. Yahoo also after the bell on Monday. I don't know if there's anything else you can say about Yahoo other than Marissa Mayer gets one more quarter of probably overpaid paychecks. As this has a lot more to do with whether or not she can continue to make people think that someone's going to buy this company. Very tough to see exactly how this thing prices out with the unknown of how the tax situation for their remaining Alibaba stock sale would go. Many people think that it would be taxed at somewhere between the 35 and 40% range, and that is why if they were able to sell it overseas, not bring it back, then you could keep it on the books. But the government's basically telling them, no, you can't do that. But we're not going to tell you that exactly. I'm going to tell you that maybe you can't do that, but we're not going to tell you in advance, or you're not going to be able to ask, which I think is pretty stupid. But a lot of politics in that one for overseas money, and no one really cares. It's, a foreign stock. What else can you say? On Tuesday of next week, we wake up to see Genuine Parts Company in the automotive business. But of course, the Big Mac Daddy, Goldman Sachs, for that Tuesday morning. This one, again, I don't know if there's that many different patterns out here. This one actually started creeping down on 6.3. And of course, you had that another big gap down on 6.24. But we are back up to this 6.3 gap down that had let's call it 4.4 million shares. We had 5.1 million shares already yesterday. Today, let's call it 3 million shares, could get into that 5 million share area. This is where this long consolidation zone before it sold off starting in early May, running through pretty much the 1st of June actually started, so you can keep an eye on those. Johnson & Johnson also on that Tuesday morning. Take a quick look on this. This one just keeps going higher. I would be scared to hold it into earnings if I was trading it. If I had held it for a long time, I guess you have to hope that things get better. KSU also on that Tuesday morning. The second railroad, this one will probably react a great deal to CSX here in the next day or two. What can you say on this one? No, this one's very tough to get a handle on. Lockheed Martin, not very rarely a new surprise in that one. Magic Investments, United Healthcare, UNH on Tuesday morning. What do we have on that one? Another one that's just continued moving up higher. I don't know if you can make anything out of that one either. This one, other than the fact it reacted very minorly to the British exit, not a great deal in that. After the bell on next Tuesday, we have Cintas, which is a good canary in the coal mine for what people are actually and doing in hiring. The reason why they make uniforms and have uniform services for those folks, and always a interesting deal. Let's check my mail. Okay, we got a couple. We'll try to get to those next thing. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, post a message in the den. It's kind of quiet today. I can feel the quiet. What do we have out here? United Continental Holdings, UAL, on that Tuesday. This one, another one, I think really reacting. I didn't see anything else out here really reacting to the oil numbers. You got the volume. Go over here, 10 million shares. Got a lot of people, I think, sleeping out here on crude. I think we had a lot of people betting it was going much higher. Last time I looked, I will look again at the break on crude pricing. I just don't have it in front of me. What else do we have? Centos, of course, that'll be a good read on hiring and how many people that wear uniforms. Discover Financial Services, Fulton, Interactive Brokers, ISRG. This one's always an interesting after hours at play when earnings come out. You got to look at this one. Man, to me, this man just looks like it's holding on by a thread. To me, if earnings come in badly with this kind of chart setup, I could easily see this thing come back to $560, which is kind of a little trip back to, March 17th out here. They had just a little reversal and a gap out here, but that, let's call it 565. This one looks like it could be one of these stocks that would drop $100 in a heartbeat. Not saying it will. If earnings come out poorly, there's very little to support this one. Hadn't looked and seen how many people have been shorting this. Let me take a quick look on this. ISRG. Man, somebody shorted the dickens out of this one on the 7th. Go back and look at that. Man, it didn't do anything, but boy, did they short it on the 7th. Been kind of going sideways out here. A couple of stocks I've seen massive short positions come in and no real effect. Maybe people are starting to come in, but they've hammered it and then they've got 3 days of nothing. Or let me put it this way, average short positions for each day. Interesting. But man, this one's got one of the weakest C to D legs out here, May 6th to yesterday. Very wimpy. Very wimpy. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, many commodities are trading at relative lows. And now you can take advantage with Everbank's new limited time, 5-year, market-safe currency comeback CD. This indexed and U.S. dollar-denominated CD offers 100% principal protection and is based on the equally rated performance of currencies of Australia, Canada, Chile, Mexico, and South Africa. These 5 countries are especially rich in commodities, and their respective currencies are poised to do well should commodity prices begin to recover. Keep in mind that no APY, or periodic rate of interest, is paid on the CD. Don't miss out on this innovative new financial opportunity. CDs must be opened and funded by the upcoming July 14th deadline. To apply online and learn more about the CD, including product terms and disclosures, visit everbank.com/TFNN now. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And others of earnings going into next Tuesday. We'll just go through some of these through the next week so you can see how some of these are setting up into earnings. Microsoft, this big gap down that happened on earnings on the 22nd of April. Now that we're getting the next round at here, that came down on 126.8 million shares. Got into it May 31st with 37 million shares. We're into it today with 27 million shares. Got kind of a nice boost over the last few days with, of course, PC sales starting to pick up a little bit. I don't know if you can read a great deal out of this other than, again, far too many people, far too short. The bottom on this one came on June 13th at 49.06. It kind of popped down with 83 million shares. It tried to go through it with 50 million shares on June 27th, popped right back into the trading range, and that would have been the key to buy it. I don't buy a $50 stock for $3, but that would have been the clue that at least some of these bigger, older tech stocks didn't have the kind of juice to break out the bottom just yet. It did get a little farther down than I thought, because of the bread exit, but I don't know if you can make a great deal more about that. When we get into Wednesday next week, before the bell, Bank United, Halliburton. Let's take a quick look at Halliburton. I haven't looked at it in a little while. Halliburton pushing its highs. Let's call this June 8th. $46.69, 15 million shares into it today with 11 million shares. Was not able to hold the highs. Energy on the way up is about the same as the energy on the way down on these last two legs, June 8th to June 27th. So I can't really say that there's a great deal of signal out here other than this test of the top, which, what are we? Several cents short. So, man, I don't see a great deal in that one. What else do we have? That's in the morning of next Wednesday, or a week from today. MarineMax, Morgan Stanley, the next to the broker dealers. It's coming and filling its gap with a whole lot lighter volume. It's actually not even hitting. Well, maybe by the end of the day it will. That June 23rd volume of 18 million shares, we got 15.5 million shares. Nothing compared to the gap down on 624 with 49.3 million shares, but certainly has gone through it. That's why I suspect that we've got a kind of a semi-top in the market here, that any kind of higher out here is going to be extremely tough to take a look at here. Doesn't mean we're going down, but I would suspect that 2120 is a much higher probability than 2160 for our close on Friday. What else? We'll go through a few more of these out here. Corn Laboratories, Del Taco Restaurants, Fish Tacos. I haven't looked at eBay forever. Take a quick look at that. Now that they're separated and PayPal has happened, I don't know if you can make a great deal out of this one. Just a lower trading range. Not a lot of energy on it. I don't know how you trade that. Eventually, I imagine it will roll over. And, of course, another big Mac Daddy. That will be Wednesday for Intel. It's coming out here and challenging its highs. Volume looks like it's going to be a little short today, but it hasn't hit those highs. That $35.03 high on October 23rd, the December 29th high had 41 million shares. So you're kind of looking for around that 41 million share area as we get back in here today. Yeah, 28 million shares. Could we get 40? Yeah, it's 12 million more before the end of the day. We could. But again, you want to see those highs really challenged and pushing as you go to those highs. I don't see a lot out there. Also coming up next Wednesday is Mattel. These are all after the bell, by the way, now. This one, again, pushing kind of at the highs. But talk about a high in the stock that's going to be tough. February 4th, you spiked 24 million shares, tried to get into it with 3.5 million shares on April 28th. We got 4.1 million shares now. So there are a lot of people that got run out on that February 4th spike in 2016. And that kind of set the high. Just very tough for me to see that before September or October that this really flies. Into Christmas, kind of a seasonal stock, certainly can be like that. Going to get a read on China a bit with LVS. And take a quick look at this one, Las Vegas Sands. Heavy volume down day on the 21st of April, 21 million shares. Trying to get back up into this gap. It hasn't done very well so far. Just 5.4 million shares. My guess is this thing would drift up to that $48 level for earnings. And you'd want to take a look at what happened probably after. I can't imagine this thing going that much higher into earnings, so it looks relatively weak. Newmont Mining is also that day. Packaging Corporation of America. We talk about this stock every once in a while. Another great stock, not to trade, but a canary in the coal mine. And that is when you see more need for packaging, that means more products being sold. And I've got to sneeze. And I'm back from sneezing. I will have to disinfect the mic, but just the pop filter. It just did. Yeah, I sneezed. I just turned the cough button off, as big broadcasters have. You don't have to listen to it. Anyway, this is coming back up. Energy is the same as it was on the way up. Volume is just about the same. Man, this is like I said, not the clearest of signals for a lot of these stocks. Another reading on the cell phone business will come with Qualcomm. This one had a nice little gap down with some energy on the 24th. It's come back up in here now. That volume on the downside was 17 million shares the last couple of days. 7 million shares yesterday, 7.4 million shares today. So a little bit more volume, but certainly nothing compared to the gap down on 624. So I'm starting to see kind of that pattern and why I think we are going to need a great deal more energy and probably some consolidation to see any real higher pricing out here. Tractor Supply, TSCO. Yep, just kind of going sideways on that one. We'll look at a few more for the end of the day. We have one more segment. We got one more segment. We'll continue going through earnings and looking into next week on a day where we're kind of going sideways.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Another one come Wednesday night next week is United Rentals. Wanted to see how many of these stocks were reacting as they pulled back up and challenged previous highs or these big gap downs. United Rentals, let's take a look at here. This thing kind of got down to $41, back up to 76.04 on June 8th. Now it's kind of getting into this kind of whippy action down here, making kind of a little gartlet pattern out here to the right-hand side. Gap down on 624, as many of these did, with what's called 3 million shares. Yesterday, you had 1 million shares, a little less than that. Today, 1.7 million shares. Question is what you're going to get compared to that 3 million shares of 624. A lot of these are continuing to move back up, but as I said, very, very light volume, which is troublesome at the least. As we get back in got a few more stocks that are going to be very potent for earnings season. That is next Thursday after the bell. Many people have been talking about Amazon for a while. This stock has a fairly good pattern in the past. I haven't looked at it in the last year, but of kind of pulling back about now, about a handful of days before earnings, pulling back a little bit and then going right back up to the highs for earnings and then setting that bar. Yesterday kind of got a little bit of a bloody nose for not being able to keep all the systems up and running for the big sales day. Of course, the mandatory PR today was a little tough. Sold off a bit, coming back a little. I wouldn't say today is any kind of giant signal on this thing yet. But I think a lot of these stocks are really setting up to where you're going to have to be looking down the barrel of a gun to either go long or short into earnings. Very coin flippy, can I say, on that. Also, that same night, we have CMG. This thing, of course, actually, this is not a bad pattern out here if it could continually do this for a little while longer. I don't think this has had enough consolidation for the damage being done. I also suspect that maybe there could be far too many people short this. Let's take a quick look. CMG. Yeah, we still have kind of on a daily basis about 20% of the shares being initiated or as short sales. It's had as high as 29% of the shares each day initiated with a short sell. Doesn't mean that they went home 29% short. Just during the day they did. That was on 6/10. So, you've got some days where things are going on. Let's take a look at the bi-monthly data. You've got about 4 days to cover on it. That means on average volume, it would take 4 days just to get the shorts out of the market, if not one long person bought and just shorts covering. That also on a stock like this is problematic. Can you disappoint on some of these? I think you can. But kind of tough. It's got, I'm going to call it 14% short interest in Chipotle, which is not massive after this huge kind of route in this, but probably a little, especially going into earnings, seems to me more of a bet than a wonderful proposition to make cash on. As we can see, many of these stocks going back up into those gaps of 624, doing so on lighter volume. Market kind of in its indecision here. Far too many shorts. We've got to find out who's going to blink first. Anyway, Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours. You'll see me tomorrow, bright, shiny, smiling at 2 p.m. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.